We're streaming live on the internet, so we have to be very precise as far as when we start. At least that's what I was told.
Well, if he was gonna sit, I would move. If he was gonna stand, then I'll stay where I can see.
I've got 2:30, let's begin. It's our 2:30 budget hearing, and this is with the drug court. So,
Thank you, Commissioners. My name is Jared Harson, the Drug Court Coordinator for the 3rd Judicial District Court. First, I appreciate you all allowing the opportunity for us to address you all. I know that you've had several other proceedings today, and a great number of them thus far, with many to come. I will do my best to just give you a few facts and keep things very short. As you can see in our request, we are requesting a continued amount of funding from the County Commission in the amount of $15,000. We have done our very best to minimize costs the best we can. I've included in our, along with our request, our proposed funding strategy that has the greater amount of the funds from various different other sources, none of which are from general fund money. You might note that as well. So I want to make certain that you all understand we try to have the community get the greatest amount of benefit from the program without affecting or impacting the general fund revenues from both the city and county, which is, I know, very important. And we have a great deal of respect for that. A little bit of background on our program. We continue operations from May of 2002 to our current date. We currently have 44 current participants. We try to cap it at 40 new individuals per year. There is some carryover annually from participants in graduations, as we have 3 graduations a year, which I know many of you have attended in the past. One in April, one in August, and one in December historically. We have 183 graduates in our program. Of those 183 people that have graduated from our program, we have had recidivism is a big issue for folks with drug arrests in particular. Those habits are extremely draining on resources to this county, whether it be law enforcement response, the victims involved in the issues and crime created by individuals that are frankly paying for their habit, whether it be theft, burglarizing, break-ins of automobiles, any number of different things, fraud, forgery, theft. Those are all crimes related to drugs, and arguably substance abuse and issues of drugs and narcotics can be associated with a number of different criminal activities. And so that's probably not new to you all to hear that. But of those 183 graduates, 23 have been rearrested. Of those 23 arrests, 19 have convictions. There were four dismissals. And 11 of those 19 convictions were drug-related. And I say drug-related in that I go back and I'm the one that looks at how many of those arrests there are. I try to track those of our graduates so I can give you all good numbers. And that's meaningful to me to know that how we're doing things and and who is actually benefiting from the program and are there long-term benefits. So those 23 arrests go back to the graduates of May 2003. So that's a pretty good stretch of 11 years at this point if you are looking at that. So we try, and the 11 drug-related arrests, I look at the police reports if they're available to me, if they are in our imaging and things like that, that I can look and see what was actually transpiring and just kind of make a call that they weren't all possession of narcotics or possession of marijuana or something like that. There's paraphernalia along with another activity or theft or whatever else. So we're trying to just have things be as straightforward and transparent as we can be. We have an annual budget of $78,000 a year. Taking on 40 new people a year, whereas in the past we have gone over that number. That's still less than $2,000 per participant. Whereas I believe that your cost-benefit analysis, if you were to look at drug courts and treatment programs nationwide, for every dollar that you invest, you have $4 in savings in your community. And that savings comes from those other agencies that are benefiting in the community. And for our program, it's people that are contributing to your tax base via their employment, education, and their continued healthier behaviors in your community. Because for the most part, these are people that are not vacating our county or relocating. They're staying within our community. They are, frankly, I always say, our friends, neighbors, relatives. That is the fact of substance abuse, and it does not discriminate. I know you all know that very well. At this point in time, I just would like to hand it over to you all if you have any questions for me that I may answer, or
I don't have anything, but I assume the judges are here to show their support for the program. If they'd like to say anything, you don't have to, but,
I would
yeah,
say
I-
one thing if I can.
well, come on up.
It's not, some of what we're trying to do, and there's a whole national drug court model. We are the only drug court program in the state that is a diversion model as opposed to a post-conviction model. Sedgwick County, I think the city of Wichita, their municipal court, I think, has a diversion program as well. We think there's some added benefit to that, and I think a number of the participants recognize that and appreciate that if they do what they do for diversion, they have no conviction, and the case gets dismissed upon completion. The other issue, and part of this relates to what some things are going on at the state level with OJA. Jared and I served on a commission about whether there should be some not regulating, but better synchronizing the 13 to 15 programs across the state. Requirements. We try to stay independent so we can keep our diversion model. But what we are trying to do is look more. There's a quadrant system that is sometimes used involving risk and need, risk of reoffending, need for treatment, so that we don't have our people that don't have a lot of risk and mix them daily with our people who have high risk or high needs. And some of that works and some of that doesn't work with the model that we're using for time of day, the amount of time we use. And so we're looking at using some of the LSIR, which is a reoffending model of risk-based conduct, to put people in those quadrants and see what we can do. Okay, this person doesn't need to come every week. This person doesn't need to come every 2 weeks. Or they've shown that they've gone 6 weeks, 8 weeks without any UAs. They've made all their treatment, not without UAs, without testing positive, excuse me. And that they've shown some credibility. They've got a job. And so to try to recognize who do we need to see every week, who do we not need to see every week, and see where that fits. And some of that we're reinitiating and trying to re-begin that quadrant system, risk, need, base, to go forward. And some of that I don't think it requires extra money. I think it requires extra time for some of the evaluation part of it by court services. But that's just so you have an idea of kind of what we're looking at for some changes or where we might be heading.
Very good. Thank you, Judge. Commissioner Cook, do you have questions?
No, just a comment. We met with Safe Streets just moments ago, and we talked about Safe Streets and the actions that they take in reducing crime in Topeka and Shawnee County. And the drug court really does tie in directly with that. As Jared said, substance abuse has no, socioeconomic borders. It does affect all different branches of society, and people that have drug addictions will often turn to crime to support those addictions. Programs such as this reduce crime. And so, as a attorney in Topeka, I've had clients that have participated in the program, have been able to turn their lives around, and I've seen the benefit firsthand. That's about as much as I can advocate for.
Well, that's a great testimonial, if you ask me. I think that's great. Commissioner Bueller?
Just one question. Do you anticipate receiving all the funds from the city?
The amount of $16,200, I believe, that request has been sent to, that is the tobacco paraphernalia licensing revenue. It's my understanding, that request has been sent to the city manager, and do not know when it is going to be on the agenda, but in the past it has not been a problem. We have always received that going back to 2008. The two other grants that are requested, the special alcohol tax grant and the county special alcohol tax grant, those two are actually submitted at the end of August, and we're part of a competitive process for those funds. So I cannot guarantee that we would receive those, but we certainly meet the criteria for that specific funding. As you all know, there are specific programs that qualify for that, and so I would be cautiously optimistic about our continued application for those funds and meeting those requirements.
You'll keep us up to date, though?
I will, yes.
Okay.
One thing I would like to add is that, we did go through an RFP process 2 years ago to better manage our funds, as we had grants, large federal grants, honestly, going back to 2003, 2004, in the amount of roughly $150,000. When those grants ended, we had to do things to better manage our revenue. So we went back, and in doing that, our budget was nearly cut in half by that. This commission also, we received $45,000 a year, and we have done our best to, as things have continued to be of greater difficulty that way for the county, recognizing that, doing our best to also manage our costs as well. And so I think that our budget of $78,000 annually is, quite frankly, the very best that we can do, maintaining the quality and standard of care that we offer to our participants, which I believe myself, and I don't want to speak for the others, but I know I am speaking for them in the sense that we would not want to jeopardize that. And I know that you all would not want us to do that either, that I have a responsibility to offer the best opportunity for folks to succeed and be healthier, more productive members of our community. And that is truly the best outcome for everyone in this room.
Yep.
Very good.
Good deal.
Betty, anything?
No.
Okay. Again, thank you very much, and judges, thank you for coming down. It's always
Yeah.
good to see you. Come to commission meetings, you're welcome anytime you'd like, and I'm sorry.
I certainly will,
Okay.
as I can.
Okay. You got other work, huh? Well, that concludes our budget hearings for today. Thank you again.
No, thank you all very
Well
much.
appreciated. We are adjourned.
Thanks.
Do you automatically go live when you do that, or how does that work?
Yeah, it just happens,
That's magical.
They're upstairs in the IT room, and they manage it.
So we still